Hello, Alex Peters. How are you?
I'm doing great, James. How about yourself?
I am very good. So, we've been talking about it for about 2 years, interest rates going up. And now, every single time we chat, the conversation is we were right, interest rates are going up. So, how bad is it now?
It feels like every day I come in, it feels like it's going up. It's not that dramatic. I'm not trying to scare everyone here, but I pulled up rates from the an independent website called Mortgage News Daily, which I highly recommend to anyone listening out there if you want to track things. According to Mortgage News Daily, which does an amalgamation of all the different lending products. So for a conventional rate, for a good credit score, good equity throughout the whole nation right now, the average is 5.08, which is high. It's higher than it's been since about 2018. I think the
Wow.
last time it was that was November 2018, actually tells me right here. We're up 2.25% since the lows in definitely since October, November. So
Yep.
it might be a bit shocking, but it's the truth. It is what it is. If you're looking at like FHA, it might be in the low to mid fours still. If it's a loan size over 645,000, it's probably going to be in the mid to high fours. Same with VA. I looked up VA right before we logged in, and I could probably still get 4.25% for a good credit
Okay.
client, unless it's high balance, meaning over 647,000. Then it was like 4.5 type thing. So it's one of those things. And then for clients who are looking at loan sizes above 647, you have the option to do a jumbo loan. And talk to your loan officer, talk to me. In some cases, a jumbo is going to have a better rate than conventional. It's just a little more cumbersome to qualify for. So if I looked it up before we hopped on, and 25% down, good credit client could get could get 4.5 or 4.375 on a jumbo, whereas the same conventional rate was 5%. The challenge is qualifying for the jumbo is a little more difficult, but in many cases right now, I have clients that I'm telling them, let's do a jumbo. You do qualify. It's a better rate, and there's no weird prepayment penalties. There's nothing different about it. So talk to me or talk to your loan officer about that if you're in that space.
That's it's what, and annoyingly, it's what we said was going to happen. And from what I can tell, the market's not dramatically changing and dipping yet. House prices aren't dramatically falling yet. We've got major inflation still, it feels like. And when a house price is going to drop, that's what we're surely interest rates rising, house prices will drop at some point.
I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole prediction thing. We've been terrible at that. I mean, we end up being right, but it just took a long time for
Took a
us to be
lot
right.
longer. Exactly. That's why I feel
Yeah,
house prices will drop at some point, but it could be a
yeah,
long time again.
it's definitely possible, and I think I think it will be a long time if it happens because we're still having inventory crisis. Yeah, inventory has risen in San Diego County specifically from about 1,200 total listings, including condos, manufactured homes, and single families, about 3 weeks ago. We're up to about 17 to 1,900, depending on the day. That sounds like it's a good increase, but it's still insanely low. I mean, I remember in 2016 or 17, I was in a realtor meeting and they were saying inventory is at 3,500 for the county. Oh my God, it's so low. We would kill to have that right now, but even that is a low number. So I think going back to what's going to happen with house prices, supply and demand trumps all. And if there's still no supply and a huge pool of demand, that's going to drive prices up. What I
And
think is going to happen is we're going to see the rapid appreciation come to a close and things will just kind of level off. And hopefully this could take 6 months. We'll see more equity in the marketplace between buyers and sellers, meaning the sellers right now, they can ask for anything. Like you got to waive your loan contingency, appraisal contingency, inspection, give us a rent back for 3 years, all that. I'm being dramatic here, but in some cases that's still true. I want to see that change where our buyers can actually start to negotiate and get a little bit more power back. And I think that will start to happen if rates do stay high. But one of the experts I listened to, Barry Habib, with MBS Highway, he's won a couple of awards for predicting what's going to happen in the markets. He thinks that we're heading to recession as a country, and typically what happens in a recession is interest rates drop off again. this is an interesting market already. If rates jump up to 6%, let's say, and then in 8 months from now, they come tumbling back down to 4 and we still don't have inventory, I'm really not sure what's going to happen. So it's going to be some interesting times. I personally don't think you should be sitting on the fence waiting for that to happen. Especially if your real estate goals are long term. If you're looking to hold a house for 5, 7, 10 years, get in while you can. Get in like ASAP, especially if you're renting as well.
The funny thing is, one of the things that I suggested might happen, and the reason why house prices might not drop, is because of the fact that everyone refinanced and got such a low interest rate that whereas before someone might have sold their second home, they're not, because they've got such a low interest rate. They're making so much money on the rental from it, or it might be so cheap for them that they can just keep hold of it or whatever, that it's one of those, if someone's looking to buy another home right now, they're probably thinking about not selling their house, keeping hold of it, because they've got such a low interest rate, they can make really good money on it. So inventory might stay really low. The reason why there was, massive problems before in 2008 is because everyone had ridiculous loans.
Right.
Now everyone's got a really good loan, and everyone in San Diego, it's a very wealthy area where people are doing well, which is obviously incredible with everything that's happened. So there is a big chance that house prices don't drop for a long time. And even if there is a recession, if there's major inflation still, the truth is there's so many different factors right now, so different to before, that no one's got a crystal ball. And yeah, people, I mean, I've had clients who told me that they were waiting for house prices to drop. This was 4 or 5 years ago. They're waiting for house prices drop, and all they've done is that and then some more. So if you're waiting for something to happen, whatever that is, the truth is we have no idea when that thing, whether it's house prices drop, interest rates dropping again, rising dramatically. This market has been probably the craziest market in the history of real estate.
It has. And if people are worried about inflation, because they're hearing it a lot and talking about it a lot, it's the main reason why rates are driving up higher is because it's a way for the Fed to recover some of those funds. If you buy a house, the loan that you have is a hedge on inflation, because the interest rate is half right now. Even with the high interest rates, the interest rate is half what the inflation rate is. So for those clients who got 2.75% and got really big mortgages, it's almost like the value of that mortgage actually went down because inflation went up so much. And so if you think about the property that you're buying being a hedge on inflation, it's a safety net. There's never really a bad time to get into the market, like I said, especially if it's long term as well. And going back to the whole 2008 thing, this is not 2008 all over again. And I know you agree with that. I just want to be like crystal clear on that, because we've had multiple recessions in our history. There's only really been one, maybe two main recessions that were driven by the housing market. Obviously, 2008 was one of them. This is not going to be the case this time if we head into a recession. And every other recession we've had other than 2008, housing has done really, really well during the recession period. So that's why I tell people, like, don't wait. There's no fence to be sitting on right now. If you're worried about affordability, get in right now while you can. And then if rates drop off, you're in an even better position. We can get you a better rate. But in the meantime, you're protecting yourself and you're setting up a retirement for the future. So definitely, we're not in 2008 again. We're not seeing crazy listings coming through, like 1,000 extra a week. And all the loans that we have right now are all safe loans. They aren't these 1-year fixed teaser rate at 1% jumping to 8%. No one can afford it before closing. Foreclosures are going to come back, just so you know, because there was a memorandum or moratorium, on foreclosures for that COVID period. So you are going to see an increase in foreclosures, but it's not going to be 2 to 3 million. It might be an average year amount, which is around 250 to 500,000. We're just so you know, you're going to hear about foreclosures are on the rise. Well, yeah, because we had a moratorium for a year where there was zero. None happening, hardly any. But when you hear that news, don't freak out.
Yeah, and one of the things, just to leave it on, is I helped some very good friends buy a home, and they paid 1.6-ish for it, and it's crazy how much that is worth now. And they only bought it, about 9 months ago. And at the time, they were having to pay, every time they would write an offer, it was 250K over ask. They paid way more than they thought they were going to originally pay to get a home. And they were really worried that they were massively, overpaying at that time in the market. That house is worth 2.3, 2.5 now in a very short period. It's crazy how
there's no other investing product out there that could give you that kind of return. None. And for those people who are renting out there, in my opinion, based on the research I've done, the next crisis of affordability is in the rental market. So buy a house, the payment stays the same, or
the amount of people that I deal with who say, I'm not going to buy on a rent. And then 3 months later, they come back and say, we can't find anything to rent. Rental prices are astronomical. And then they want to buy. So yeah, it's one of those, if you need to speak to anyone, about a loan, give Alex a call and he'll be able to help you through the situation. If you need to, talk interest rates, jumbo loans, find out what package he can offer you, then give Alex a call.
Yeah, cheers. Make sure you leave my information. If you want to hear it here, it's 760-224-5510. Call me, text me anytime.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time, Alex. And I'll speak to you again next month, and we'll see what crazy update we've got next month.
Hopefully it's good news next time. So have a great rest of your month, James. Cheers.
Have a good one. Bye.
You too. Bye.